All right. Similar polygons, how to solve. Sorry, a little change of pace. I didn't include the examples in the video lecture, kind of like I normally do. So here's the second video. This will be quick. I'm going to cover number one, and here's some helpful tidbits with how to solve and find a value for x, because that's what it wants me to find. Kind of what we covered in class in the lecture was I want to be able to compare corresponding sides. That's two ways that we know figures are similar. One, we talk about the angles, and two, we talk about corresponding sides. And we know that corresponding sides have the same ratio. But which sides do I compare? Is it 121 over 30, or is it 121 over 55? How do I determine that? We determine which image is the pre-image and which image is the image by going back and looking at our statement. It'll tell us in the directions, which that essentially is the directions. It'll tell us down here, or we have to look at it from left to right. So y'all are getting that, right? So if I look at the statement here, ABC came first. So this triangle comes first, so this is my pre-image. That means the other one is my image. All right, fine. But which sides correspond to which sides? This is very simple. If I look at my statements, angle A corresponds to angle A. Well, wait a second, that may not make sense. Yes, it makes perfect sense, because look, both of these triangles are attached at angle A, right? If I look at B, B corresponds to R. So B and R are the same angle. All right, that means that C and S are the same angle. Okay, but how do I compare sides? Well, first of all, I got to figure out how to create my scale factor. Well, it's image over pre-image, all right? So I need to go small to large. So my figure got bigger, but I want to make sure I compare the right sides. Well, RA. I want to compare RA over what side in the other figure. That's pretty simple. Find RA. RA is the first two letters in the second figure over the first two letters AB in the other one. So AB is 121. There's my proper comparison, little to big. Okay? Remember, my image, sorry, did I say the image got bigger? I'm sorry, it's Friday. The image got smaller, right? So my ratio better be less than 1. I'm going to divide both of these by 11, and I get 5 over 11. There is my ratio, my scale factor, if you will, that I'm going to use to find x. So I'm going to use that 55 over 11, and I'm going to compare that to, remember I went small to big, image over pre-image. I've got to do the same thing. So I've got to go image over pre-image. So I want to go 30, but I also want to check, and this is pretty easy because there's no other numbers for these other two sides over here, but let's pretend there were. I want to make sure I compare 30 with the proper side in the other figure. So 30 is SA or AS. So I want to compare SA to CA. CA is 6x plus 6. And then cross multiply. And I distinctly remember in class showing you the trick. Put parentheses around here, so 6x plus 6 equals 30 times 11. Now, we could multiply 5 times 6x and 5 times 6 and distribute, but let's go ahead and let's divide by 5 at the beginning. So I get 6x plus 6 equals 5 goes into 30 6 times, 66. Excuse me, 5 goes into 30, yeah, 66. Now I'm going to subtract 6, and 6x equals 60. Divide by 6, x equals 10. Now remember, x is 10. That's not the value of the side. I'd have to plug 10 in for x and multiply and add to get the value of the side, which is 66. Okay, so there's one. If you need that, go back. And I'm just going to pick another one. Remember, you had to do all 6. We did 2 in class. Let's look at number 5, because some other people had questions about 5. Now, the trouble about 5 is they're overlapping. Okay, so you have small figure and you have big figure. Maybe, just maybe, for some of us, it might be good to rewrite the smaller one. That way I focus on small to big. So here I have 66, I have 84, and I have 54. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and cross these out, And now I can focus on 77, 9x, and 98. And now I can compare. But I still have to go back and apply the same thought process we did up here. Which one came first? Which one came second? WUV. WUV, that's the pre-image. This is my image, figure got smaller. My scale factor should be a number less than 1, right? How do I determine my scale factor? Image over pre-image. Compare your corresponding sides. So here, left side to left side, 66 over 77. Or, this is a good problem because now it gave me a number for all sides, or I could compare 84 over 98. Believe it or not, both of these are the same ratio. Yeah, they are. The reason I wrote both of them is because which one is easier to simplify? I hope you're saying this one, because I'm going to divide both sides by 11, and I'm going to get 6 over 7. Believe it or not, this would also reduce to 6 over 7. There is my scale factor. So 6 over 7 equals, and I can use that to compare top to top. Remember, I went image over pre-image. Image over pre-image, so it's got to be 54 over 9x. And you cross multiply to solve. Right? That's how you that's how you solve proportions again. Remember, cross multiply. So there's a couple of problems to help you with the rest of these. If you have questions, bring that in on Monday. Let's discuss.